So you're driving, going about your dandy little day, and then all of a sudden the little orange, light on your dashboard shows up as you're driving. And you obviously are immediately pissed about it. And it's annoying. You don't want anything to do with it. It's going to cost you something probably, and you don't even know what it means, right? So you do the universal thing that everybody does, which is, I'm not dealing with this. This volume goes up, right? Immediately. The problem is, this is exactly how our culture, and we've been trained by generations before us and social media, honestly, this is what we do with our sadness. We treat sadness as if it's a problem rather than what it really is, which is it's information. It's actually a signal or an alarm. I've got a lot of notes here, so don't mind me when I look over here. Let's stay with the car idea for a second, right? The light on the dashboard, because the light on the dashboard is not the problem, right? Like, it's not attacking you, it's not ruining your day. All the light on the dashboard is doing is trying to keep the car from breaking down. It's trying to tell you what's going on really with the whole car, right? It's this little control center here, and this is the signal. Hey, there's a problem going on in this other area, right? Here's what a lot of us do with our emotions, and what I used to do specifically with sadness. We see the light, and instead of pulling over, cracking open the hood and going, hey, what's the problem here? We turn the music up. We take a little piece of duct tape and I don't want to deal with that, I don't like that. And we hide the light. And we hope that it doesn't break down. We numb, we distract ourselves, we busy ourselves, we scroll, we binge, we grind, we chase comfort, we avoid the real problem. The real problem is not the sadness. Once again, it's what the sadness is pointing to. And for a while it works because you can't hear the engine when the speakers are blaring. You can cover the little light up with a piece of duct tape, but the issue doesn't disappear. It's like a festering wound. It just grows. And that is what it will do with time. So here's the thesis of this whole video. Sadness is not the problem. It's a signal. It has something to tell you, and you must honor its presence. Interesting. But I've actually found this in my life. I'm not just speaking as if this is an idea and something you should potentially try out. This is actually what I do in my own life, and what has helped me when I've literally had a word I can't say on YouTube to my head multiple times. When I've my little brother has, I don't know if I can say attempted. I'm going to say attempted. I've had hard times, really, really hard times. The real danger here is not sadness. The real danger is actually numbness. Okay? Numbness is what makes you stay in a situation that sadness is trying to tell you you need to get out of. Okay? Numbness is what makes you tolerate a life that you don't want to stay in. It's what makes you stop caring about your health, your relationships, your purpose, your soul, everything. Numbness removes your ability to hear that there's an issue, there's a problem going on. It really makes you blind in a way. So the way that I've been able to really love sadness, actually, truthfully, is that imagine that you weren't sad about wasting the day and scrolling for 10 hours and playing video games and watching TV. Imagine that you were just okay with it. You're just fine wasting your life. That's terrifying. Like, that's horrible. And I was like, oh my gosh, sadness serves a purpose. Imagine being perfectly okay with staying stuck, with being unhealthy, with living a life you don't like. That's not peace, right? That's like anesthesia. That's numbness. You're okay with that thing. Sadness is proof that you care, that you want change, that you feel there's something wrong going on, and you want to change. So the reason that a lot of times that we hate sadness, and I know why I personally hate sadness, is because it feels like it's saying something about us, right? Like that I'm weak, something's wrong with me, I'm broken, my life is failing, it's just this negative feeling. We don't know how to deal with it, and how to recognize that negative things that feel negative and hard and I don't like it aren't necessarily negative. They're, I think, like refining. Like there's a tool, there's a utility for them. So we hide sadness, we medicate sadness, but the thing about sadness is, once again, it's not a conclusion. It's not a judgment, it's not a verdict, it's not a final analysis. All it is a signal pointing to something else, right? It's feedback. What it is, it's your internal system trying to tell you something is wrong, the truth. Something is wrong before it gets worse, right? It's like the light coming on in your dashboard tank with the little tire light saying, hey, your tire's a bit low on air, you need to go and fill it up, right? Yes, it's a pain to kind of go deal with that, but it's a lot better than going 80 miles down the highway and you didn't deal with that problem for the past 3 months, and then it blows up and like now you're off the side into a ditch, right? So if you ignore sadness long enough, you don't become stronger. You don't become better or more macho. You just become less sensitive. You become more detached. You become addicted to what covers it. You become addicted to the noise. Right? You become more comfortable in the noise and more stuck. And that's exactly how I felt really until the past year. Right? I've run from. I'm still trying to learn and change the way I operate, because I have run from internal pain like all of my life, and running from it looked like tons of noise, tons of physical activity, tons of stimulus, like just constant stimulus, because my nervous system had this pain here, and to escape the pain, it just took on stimulation to not have to deal with that. Because if I didn't have stimulation, things got quiet, and when things got quiet, it revealed a problem, which is I'm not okay and I'm hurting. And it showed the pain. That was, I've just been hiding through all the noise. So it's weird, right? Literally having your nervous system more comfortable with sensory overload than it is with silence, because the silence will reveal the pain. You might be thinking, Alex, that sounds like a thing for you, right? But like, am I really doing this personally, right? You, like in the camera, the one that I'm talking to. Well, let me describe what turning up the noise looks like, right? And I don't have every example in the world, but I'm sure hearing these, you're going to be able to pick and choose what sounds like you. You keep your phone on or your TV on until you pass out. You keep dopamine flowing constantly with constant content, scrolling for hours every day. The fridge, right? Keeping plans stacked back to back to back. Constant schedule, constantly filling the day. You're always with your best friend or partner in a relationship all the time. You take on lots of responsibility with work or hobbies or whatever it is, so you're constantly slammed. You always have to be physically moving, doing something. By God, you cannot sit still and be alone with your thoughts. Even if you are alone with your thoughts are constantly going. It's not a... Right? What's happening is you have kept your life so loud that you aren't able to feel your own soul. There's no longer... This is no longer like this choice of noise and the things that I just mentioned, the behaviors. It's no longer just a thought. You're not doing it consciously. It's just something you've literally embedded into your nervous system, right? And so we tell ourselves, "I'm fine. I'm just tired. I'm fine. I'm just busy. I'm fine. It's been stressful lately." But eventually, because the truth is the light is still on, you haven't addressed it. Eventually, the car does break down, and sometimes it's a panic attack. Sometimes it just seems like a rut. Sometimes it's a burnout. Sometimes it's a relationship collapsing. Sometimes it's a this hit me out of nowhere. I can't believe it. So some things really do, but your friends around you are saying like, dude, like, kind of saw it coming, but somehow you were blindsided. Sometimes it's just the emptiness that you feel, and it becomes impossible to ignore, and eventually you break down, because that is it is going to happen when you don't address the true issue. In the moment that breakdown happens, it feels like you failed. It feels like failure. things are not going well, and negative thoughts spiraling around, you don't realize that this moment of you breaking down is actually a moment of mercy, because you recognize, oh my gosh, things are broken. This isn't working. I have to fix this. This is a moment where, yes, things suck, but you decide to change paths because it could really go a lot worse. It can always get worse. So you recalibrate. This is actually, I'd imagine if you're watching this video, it's because you've had these moments of breakdown and it's not been an easy path out, right? So what's the alternative to numbing out, to turning the music up, to taking a little piece of duct tape and putting it on the light on the dashboard? The alternative is to be sensitive. Not to be fragile, not to be dramatic, right? But sensitive as in you're willing to feel what's going on. Sadness is one of the most humbling emotions. And it's one of the most honest emotions because it doesn't flatter you. It doesn't help you perform. It doesn't help you pretend. It tells you exactly how it is, which is a light on your dashboard saying, hey, check the engine. There's a problem. The moment that sadness shows up, the question isn't, how do I get rid of sadness? The question is, what is sadness trying to tell me? You don't put a piece, I say it a lot, but you really have to see this image. You don't put a piece of paper over the light signal or turn up the noise when the alarm is going off. You have to go and figure out what's going on. You have to pull over and crack open the hood, right? Practically, you ask, what is this connected to? What is this signaling? The engine light means there's an engine problem. The tire light means that there's a tire problem. So you do the same with sadness. You're not just sad. You're sad about something, right? So if you ask yourself, what am I sad about? Specifically, it's not your whole life. It's not your whole identity. It's not everything, because everything is overwhelming. It's not going to give you a path forward, right? But when you specify what it is you're sad about, this one thing, you're able to do something about this one thing that you're sad about, right? So ask it clearly. Am I sad about my body and the way I look because I value health and strength? Am I sad about my lack of discipline because I value self-respect? Am I sad about my relationships and my loneliness because I value connection and safety? Am I sad about wasted time because I value purpose? Am I sad because I've been living out of alignment with what I actually believe? And this is the really cool thing about sadness. It's actually, it's beautiful, really. Sadness reveals your values. You don't care, you don't get sad about things that you don't care about. Sadness is a spotlight telling you this is what matters to you. It teaches you who you are and who you want to be. You wouldn't be sad about the way you looked if you didn't care about yourself. Here's the most important part. Once you know what the light on the dashboard is pointing to, you don't sit in the driveway and stare at the dashboard. You don't whine and complain. You do something. Not everything. You don't uproot your entire life and overhaul everything in one go. You figure out what's the next step. Simply. So this is really helpful. 3 steps. Okay. What am I sad about? Specifically. 2. You have to honor sadness. This idea of honoring sadness has been so helpful for me. What does this sadness say that I care about? I'm violating my conscience. There's something in me that's being violated. And sadness is coming up to say, hey, you're violating this value. And we must look at sadness, meet sadness, and honor sadness, and listen to sadness saying, hey, you are violating this about yourself. Third, so what am I sad about specifically, right? And what does this sadness say that I value, that I care about? And what is one small step that I can take that moves me toward that value today, right now? Very, very simple. For example, if sadness reveals that you value connection, then go text a friend, call a friend, FaceTime a friend, and talk to them. If sadness reveals that you value health, then go outside and move for 15 minutes. That's it. Small thing. If sadness reveals that you value purpose, then write one paragraph, apply to that one thing, make the one call, move the progress forward in a small way to the next thing. If sadness reveals that you value alignment with God, then sit in silence with God and talk to him. That's it. Simple, right? It's not pretty. It's not performative. This is just a real solution for what sadness is trying to... I want to say it's not a solution for sadness, but it's more of how to honor, how to treat, how to properly negotiate existence with sadness in a way. You can't shove sadness down, and you can't lift sadness above everything and say, sadness, I'm so sad all the time, right? There's a way to use what sadness is trying to tell you. There's a very good purpose for it. So sadness will not be solved by noise or numbness. I could edit this stuff out, but screw it, dude. Oh, I thought I was out of focus for a second. That would have been sad. Sadness is not solved by noise or numbness. Okay, sadness is quiet. Okay, you have to listen to sadness. It's often going to happen in a silent place because sadness is quiet, and you have to honor sadness. And ultimately, we don't just talk to someone, listen to them, consider them, and then do nothing about what they've said. You must respond to sadness. Okay? An important note, sometimes, kind of like a disclaimer here, right? Sometimes sadness is a normal signal. I think that we have abnormalized something that is very normal. And sometimes what you're dealing with is actually deeper. It's heavier, right? Some words that I'm not going to say here. Sometimes it's, we'll say, chemical, and there's other things going on. So this video isn't just saying like, hey, journal and have like a brain break and a thought thing and you're fixed, right? Sometimes the repair plan and how to move forward includes therapy, communication, community, medication, support system, those kind of things. But even then, sadness is not your enemy. It's just data. Sadness is just data. It's a signal that you need to listen to. So that's what I've got, guys, right? Like, sadness isn't fun, but honor sadness. It has a very unique and important role in your life, and it deserves attention. And you treat it like a dashboard, right? Ugh. If you treat it like a dashboard light that's popping up and signaling something, you're going to hate sadness less. You're actually going to welcome it. You're going to understand yourself more, and you'll find your way out of things way faster because you're responding to the real issue that it's pointing to and not just the alarm, right? Sadness is a signal. Numbness is the enemy. Numbness is the real danger. Do not turn the noise up. Don't take duct tape and put it over the light. Pull over. Get curious. One, ask, what am I sad about specifically? Get curious. Honor what sadness responds with, which is, what is it that sadness, what are you telling me? What do I care about? What do I value? What are you trying to show? You're shining a spotlight on something I value. What is that? And then, small step. Respond to sadness. Small step forward. This is how you honor sadness. So, this is a freaking fire sentence here, right? Honor the values it reveals to you. Take a small step toward the life that your soul is asking you not to trade away, not to become numb to, not to abandon to numbness. Sadness is a friend, really. There's even, I feel like if I really reflect recently in my life, I'm so stimulated, I'm so go go go, and I've been so averse to sadness, that when sadness comes, there's a way to even numb sadness itself, which that's dangerous, right? It's like getting to the point where you can't even see or hear the signal. Yeah, it's just like bad. Like numbness is bad. Like bad, 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 bad. That's the real danger, right? And like that's, I have had to crawl and am still continuing to crawl out of the pit in that area. So once again, guys, I'm not a genie. I don't have like great. I don't even think this is like a. This is just a perspective. I don't have a 1, 2, 3 that's going to fix your life. This is just something that I've been using, that's been helping me, that has changed my perspective entirely, that I wish I knew way sooner, which is why I make these videos. Because if you don't know, I started these videos because I wanted to share things. I've been recording things for like 5 or 6 years, for my future wife, for my kids one day, and I have hundreds of videos, literally, not like on YouTube, but just personally, like for that. And I was like, man, if I'm really gonna take the time to talk to my kids, and why don't I like put it together, structure a little bit. I almost write an essay sometimes before I do these, and then I want to improve my skill to communicate and relay this to my kids. Well, if I would relay this to my kids and I find it that important, then why don't I just like also relay it to the world? So here I am, and probably look like a fool in a lot of ways, but that's okay, dude. If it helps someone, I know it would have helped me to know sooner than I know now. So anyways, stoked you're here if you watched to the end. Love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Ciao, ciao.